I have, yeah. We are going live, almost there. And we're live. Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to day 4 of the 21-day Mend Yourself Well Facebook Live Summit. I'm Dr. Jenna Dr, host, and the pleasure of interviewing, or really just having conversations with 21 amazing ladies that all have so much inspiring wisdom, knowledge, advice, tools, and tips for you to help you on your journey of mending yourself well. And this evening, I am honored to have Dr. Beth Cook. She is not only a friend, a colleague. We went to chiropractic together, and she's now part of the Authentic and Thriving Women doing life, love, and business. And she's here today to talk about her passion in really helping all, not just women, but men and women get to the root cause of their health issues. So Dr. Beth, she's a chiropractor in Northwest Houston area. She got her bachelor's from Texas A&M, her doctorate from my alma mater, Parker College of Chiropractic, and she is a wellness way practitioner, which she's going to talk all about today. She specializes in testing the root cause of chronic disease in order to actually reverse the disease process. She has a passion for teaching and empowering her patients about how to heal your bodies without drugs or surgeries, and that is why she makes a great guest today. So without further ado, Dr. Beth, hello and welcome to the show. We have a few guests already.
Hi.
Oh, hi. There you go. I thought we couldn't hear you.
No, my
internet. So we have. I'm sorry.
My internet is a little spotty, so.
Okay. Well, hopefully, let's cross our fingers that the universe provides for us tonight. We have Steph and Sequita on the line. If you guys have any questions as we go along, please comment those. I'll be monitoring the questions. I love to have you interact with us while you're watching. So if you're watching live, please comment #live. And if you're watching the replay, comment #replay. It helps us know who's watching and also helps the other members in the community find us. So Dr. Beth, how are you this evening?
Good. I'm good.
Good. Your kids are down to sleep. Your husband took your oldest dove hunting.
Yes.
And so you have a peaceful. It's so funny. I was thinking, I drove to my office today to have this talk because it was like my house was not quiet. And I was thinking, like, how many chiropractors work on a Saturday night? You know, like here we are. We love what we do, and it's Saturday night, and I don't know what normal people are doing, but we're probably far. Yeah. So how was your day today? Let's just talk personally first.
Yeah, it was good. I didn't really do much. Just sat around with my 2 little ones and boring stuff.
Are you guys getting a lot of rain in Houston? I know we got a lot of rain.
We are. It has been raining a lot. And it did not rain today. So today's been the first day.
Okay, good. So you are a busy lady. You are running your own chiropractic practice. It's busy. You are managing 3 kids in a household, and you're very active in your community. So just tell us a little bit about like who you are personally and what drives you to share your message.
Okay. Like Jenna said, I'm a mom, a wife, and a mom of 3. I have number 4 on the way. And I'm a chiropractor and a wellness way practitioner. I've owned my practice here in Houston for about 2 years. My husband was in the Army. I've been practicing since about 2010. 2010? Yeah. Yeah. And so my husband was in the Army for a while, and we traveled around and did the Army thing. And then we landed here in Houston in 2014. And so I've been here ever since. And like I said, I've owned my practice for 2 years. And I've been part of the Wellness Way for about 2 years too. I started right kind of when I started in practice too. So, yeah.
So let's dive in. For those of us listening, what is the Wellness Way? What
um, the Wellness Way, I guess, physically is a clinic in Green Bay, started by Dr. Patrick Flynn. And he started the Wellness Way, I think almost 20 years ago. I think he's been in practice for, I don't know if it's been 20 years, but he's been in practice for quite a while, 18, something like that. And he was doing chiropractic, but you know that in chiropractic school, we're taught the 3 T's, that people are sick because they have trauma, they have toxins, they have thoughts, they have stress. And so as a chiropractor, you get out of school and you're kind of, at least my experience was, you're kind of shoved in this 1 T practice where you're only treating trauma, you're only treating pain, and that's it. You're not really addressing the other factors. And so Dr. Flynn did a really good job of doing that and of doing all 3 T's. And some doctors were noticing what he was doing, and he started teaching other doctors his approach, which we now call the Wellness Way approach. And I am one of the lucky people and doctors that have learned the Wellness Way approach, and I'm trained by Dr. Flynn and his team, and to do what he does with patients. Really, the root of it is testing. When people come in with certain conditions, we can do a lot of guesswork and a lot of, well, we know that depression is related to this, or irritable bowel is related to this. But really, we get to the bottom of it by testing patients. And so that's kind of the foundation of the Wellness Way, is testing for inflammation, checking where that inflammation is coming from, which T is it coming from, and then kind of applying that 3 T approach to the patient, really, truly, not just, I don't know, I feel like it was very surface before. I actually had a patient that came in before I owned the practice. She was like, I don't know, 16 or 17. She was somewhere around there. She was a teenager. She was young, and she had severe pain in her neck. And we took an x-ray. She had a reverse curve, which I won't explain that to everybody out there, but it was bad. But she also, her hair was just falling out. I mean, it was awful. And you could just see that, her posture, she was very, like, she had no confidence. And she also had a lot of fatigue, like severe fatigue. She had a job that she had to quit because she just couldn't keep up. And she's only 16 or 17. And I think her mom was kind of taking her to doctor. And they came to me. At that time, the doctor that I was working under, he had started dabbling in testing a little bit. And so I knew we had these kits that tested cortisol, and I could test her adrenal glands. And so I sent her home with this kit, and the results came back, and I had no idea what to do with them. I didn't know how to interpret them. I knew that her levels were off, but I didn't know how to then explain that to her and then relay, okay, this is what you should do about it. I think I called a standard process rep, and he kind of helped me a little, but not enough to really make a difference. And so that right there was like, okay, I need to figure out how to help people like her, and interpret those test results, and give her some guidance, and be able to help, not just adjust her, but figure out how to specifically help her. And so that was one of those moments where, as a practitioner, you feel very frustrated, and that, people are coming to you and they want you to help them, and you feel helpless. You're like, I don't know what to do. Like, and you don't want to send her to the medical doctor, because they're not going to help her either. They're just going to send her down a rabbit hole of medication. So, so yeah.
So what did you do at that point when you knew you needed to be more equipped to help her?
Well, I mean, I definitely did some more research about those tests, and then also more about adrenal fatigue and how to supplement for adrenal fatigue and when your cortisol levels are off. But I did feel really lost. Like I just felt like I didn't really know where to go for guidance, and I didn't really know who to go to clinically, who'd experienced this like in their office and had success with certain things. And really, what comes to mind when I just said that is protocols, because the Wellness Way has no protocols. I mean, we follow no protocols. There's no adrenal fatigue protocol, thyroid protocol, infertility protocol. There's nothing. It's all based on the individual, which I love. You know, there's nothing standard set. So I always roll my eyes when I see those, see articles and books about, you know, how to heal your thyroid. It's like, right. I mean, that's probably a great path and a great start. But it's no guarantee that it's going to help you, because you're different. Right.
Everyone's different. Yeah, they come with their own background. They come with their own history. They come with their own genetic, own lifestyle, eating habits, mental thoughts.
Yes.
And then how many other organ systems are at play when you're thinking of something that, like, the adrenals, you know, is your pituitary gland. I was just talking to a patient yesterday about their pituitary gland, and the thyroid is connected, and I mean, all these organs, they're not separate. And so what you look at when you test is actually all of them specifically. You take a detailed history, and then you're looking at what you do, a lot of blood, urine, saliva, those types of tests, or anything specific that I might be, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing a lot of blood testing. I mean, one thing about the Wellness Way is patients always bring their blood work into me. They're like, "Can you look at this?" I'm like, "Sure." And so I look at it, and it is, at first I was like shocked, and now I just tell the patient it's not going to be sufficient. Like, trust me, I know now. But it is a joke what your doctor sends you for. And they're like, "No, they took like 6 tubes." I'm like, "Trust me, they did not test very much," you know, and they look at it, and it you know, it's like a page and a half, but it's like, this is nothing, you know, this is not, this tells me that you're vitamin D deficient, and that's it, you know. And so I do blood work. I do hormone testing. I do stool testing. I do food allergy testing. I do testing for adrenals, the cortisol levels, and we test for neurotransmitters. We test for all kinds of stuff. Really, the bulk of the testing I do is going to be looking at root cause. Some of those tests are important, but they may not give me a lot of reason behind why, you know, like a neurotransmitter test is great, but why are your neurotransmitters off in the first place? And so it's good information to know, and then to help support those areas of the body. But yeah, I do testing that's all across the board, and that you most likely have never had done before. So
let's talk about like how that relates to our community, the mentor self community. I would say there's maybe like 5 men in a group of 200. So there are very few men in our group. We're comprised of women. I would say between the average age, somewhere between 30 and 50. So what's like a really common, something that you see in your office a lot, fits that demographics of something that women are struggling with particularly?
There's a lot of different things, but hormones come to mind. I mean, just because, I mean, there's a reason why women are more sick, and that's because we have a lot more hormones than men. And when we get stressed, and women tend to not handle stress as well. And one reason is because of our hormones. And how much fluctuation we have in our hormones, which is normal, right? We're supposed to have fluctuation. Otherwise we wouldn't cycle every month. But hormones are a big thing that I see, a really common denominator between a lot of women and why they're so sick. And I think hormones are another thing that are grossly not tested well at all and very looked over. I see a lot of women that come in and, my doctor said I'm normal. My doctor said I'm normal. There's nothing wrong with me. Or he said I'm depressed, or, just take some B12 or something like that, which would help, but nobody's really testing to see where they're at.
Yeah, that's still very symptomatic treatment. It's not at all getting to the root cause.
Right, exactly. And then also women that, they're experiencing a lot of symptoms and they don't even realize that it is hormone related. Or like I had a patient I was talking about coming to the talk and she was like, well, I can't take hormones. And I'm like, that's not what it's about. But how important that role plays and how, women that have had some kind of female cancer and have never had their hormones tested, how, that is so crucially important. Oh man, that just told me my battery is low. I might have to go run and get my charger. But, no, I think I might be okay, but I thought it told me I had like plenty of time. Let me go grab it real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, I hate to lose you. So Sequita, I see your question. I'm going to ask Dr. Beth in just a second when she comes back.
I hope that my plug reaches.
If you are watching us live, go ahead and comment below #live. If you're watching the replay, comment who's watching us. And if you have any questions, just comment below and I will ask Dr. Beth these questions. So while you're doing that, I got a question from Sequita, and this is actually something that I see all the time too, but we would love to hear feedback on this. So Sequita is curious about the adrenal testing. Years ago, she was told that she may have adrenal insufficiency. What symptoms would present for this?
The biggest symptom that she's going to have is fatigue. So if you have adrenal insufficiency, fatigue is a big one. Cortisol is a big hormone that your adrenals release. There's a couple other hormones too, but we have a cortisol rhythm. And sometimes when you have adrenal insufficiency, that cortisol rhythm is thrown way off and you're not getting those spikes when you're supposed to. So a lot of patients can't go to sleep at night, but then they're tired all day. That's one of the biggest. There's a lot of other ones too, but that's probably the biggest one, the most common one I see.
I would say, tell me if you agree that like I've heard statistics like 95% of the population has some level of adrenal fatigue just because our bodies were not designed to handle as much stress as we're handling. Yes. You think back to our ancestors, they lived a pretty calm and relaxed life, and the only time their adrenals like spit cortisol was when they were being chased by the tiger or trying to find their next meal for the day. And now we're bombarded with the tiger like everywhere we turn. So wouldn't you say that like so many adrenal fatigue?
You what now? Sorry.
Do you agree that like adrenal fatigue is just something that so many people have on some level?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. And I think, like I said, women, we don't handle stress as well. Most men are pretty laid back. They let things roll off their shoulders. We do not. And so, yes, just the keeping up with the amount of information that is being thrown at us all day long, and then having to come home and somehow turn that off and then deal with your kids and your husband. And then you got this bill and that bill. Adrenal insufficiency is huge. And a lot of women are misdiagnosed and they're being put on like thyroid medication. And actually one of the contraindications to thyroid medication is adrenal insufficiency, which a lot of women have, and doctors are not testing. for that. In fact, I had a patient that went to an endocrinologist and she told her that adrenal fatigue was a made up diagnosis, that it did not exist. And I said to her, your doctor's an idiot. She is telling you that because she doesn't understand how to treat adrenal fatigue. There's no drug that she can give you for adrenal fatigue. So therefore, in her mind, there is no such condition. But yeah, it's very, very common. But I will say, I'm treating a patient right now who his main issue is severe fatigue. Like he can't hold a job. It's really bad. And he's only in his early 20s. And I just got his stool test back and he has yeast overgrowth. He has 2 bacterial infections and he has 2 parasites. So his gut is being wrecked. I mean, and so that's very common too, is that you have underlying infections and that is something that is causing your adrenals to just shut down because they can't keep up because of that infection, that underlying infection. So definitely do some kind of saliva. Saliva is the best way. You can do urine as well. You can look at the metabolites and how your cortisol is metabolized. And
I'm sure that the people listening are curious. Like, let's talk about what it looks like to heal the adrenals. I'd love to hear kind of just in general, like what it looks like to start healing the adrenals.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome. And it's funny because I don't always test that because it may not be their primary issue. But I have a woman who she had a full hysterectomy and we tested her hormones and her cortisol levels were way out of whack. And she has a super high stress job. And I just want to comment too that I love that we have such an array of women talking about different things because while I'm talking about testing, there's a lot of other things that some of the women have talked about that are important in, mending yourself well and staying healthy. Because if you have a super stressful job, you can get tested all you want. But if you're not learning how to meditate or quiet your mind or de-stress or cope or whatever, then you're going to stay sick. But we did some testing with her and we supported her body and kind of made some changes. And she had a full hysterectomy, so she'll always need some kind of support. My goal is to get you off as many supplements as you can. And so you have your good foundation and your good baseline. Everybody's going to need something at some point, but she's doing awesome. She used to think she had that, oh gosh, what's that condition where like in the winter time you feel more tired? What is that? There's a name for it. Somebody might know. If they know what I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
like people it.
Yeah, like as the winter comes, her fatigue increases because it stays darker longer or something. And then anyway, she swore she had that. And then after testing her and supporting her, she's got her energy back. She's going back to the gym. She's got her life back. I mean, it's incredible the changes that I see in patients in short periods of time. I mean, it's incredible.
I mean, I think we could talk all night long about testing. And I mean, there's such an array of different problems that specifically come into your, because this is what you specialize. I dabble in it. And I would love to, I mean, I think we could talk all night long. We have another question that it ties into what I really brought you here and what I really want you to share, because I know you're excited about it. So we have someone about what to do about inflammation testing. So like, I know that inflammation and toxicity are big, like 2 of the biggest reasons why people are sick and they don't feel good. And that ties into your hormones. So tell us how inflammation, toxicity, and hormones kind of all play together, and then talk about your upcoming talk as well.
So inflammation is the root of all chronic disease. Like you could ask a million scientists and doctors, and they would agree with me. It's the root of heart disease, Alzheimer's, cancers, thyroid, autoimmune, infertility, you name it. And part of that is because we are so toxic. I mean, we have such an exposure to toxins these days, whether it's from our water or from the food that we're eating, or all the medications that people take and how that gets in our water, or just if you are somebody who's taking a lot of medication, and the air. I mean, we are exposed at every level. If you really dive deep, it comes down to even, what you're putting on your skin and your hair every day. So inflammation is huge, and inflammation testing is different for everybody. So yes, there are some traditional tests that you can do to test for inflammation to see if you have some inflammation in your cardiovascular system or your digestive system. But really, when I say inflammation, I'm looking for your triggers, right? So like I said, I could do all the testing I want, but if you are somebody who has a lot of stress in their life and can't deal with it, then that's where your inflammation is coming from. But our bodies go into what I like to call survival mode. So if you're stressed all the time and you're eating junk and you're on some medication and, you're burning candles in your house, or you're lathering yourself in fragrance, perfumes and dyes and things like that, you're probably inflamed and you're probably full of toxins, and your liver can only handle so much. And when your body goes into survival mode, it's going to send the nutrients, or, everybody's different, right? But where it needs to go to survive. And hormones are usually one of those things that usually take the biggest hit, because we need hormones. They're really important for our health, but your body could stop making testosterone as much and you would still live. But hormones are usually why we feel the way we feel, just like we talked about with the adrenals. Your cortisol is a hormone, so once that starts to go down, you're going to feel awful. When your testosterone starts to go down, you're going to feel awful.
But at the same time, I just want to interrupt you real fast and state, but at least your heart's still working. Like you talked about survival, at least your heart's still working. At least your brain is still working. At least your limbs are still moving. You're still in survival mode. You're digesting your food, all of that. It's really working at a much lower level. Your quality of life is getting less and less and less because you're in that survival mode, and things just start shutting down, not working right, going haywire, things like that.
I think that's why people get confused on why they're sick, because they're like, well, I've been doing this for so long. Why am I sick now? It's exactly, because you've been doing this for so long. Mm-hmm. You've had these terrible habits for so long. Well, my dad had it and my mom had it. No, you have the same terrible habits that your mom and your dad have. You may be predispositioned, but it doesn't guarantee that just because your mom had diabetes, you're going to have diabetes. But if you stay in that mode, then certain things in your body are going to start to shut down. And that's when you start to feel a lot of those symptoms that you feel. Pain, I always tell patients, pain is a great motivator. Pain brings you in to see me. And as soon as it starts to go away, you're going to start questioning whether you still need to come or not. But you were doing stuff for a long time before that pain showed up. And same thing for your body. You've been doing stuff maybe unknowingly. And that's why Jenna has this community, so that we can teach you better ways on how to mend yourself and how to heal your body. Because we are lied to every day by the pharmaceutical industry, by our doctors, that we need medication, and that is a lie. That is such a lie. I mean, there are so many things that you can do to help your body heal. I mean, our bodies were made to. And so I hate when, I have to sit there and convince a patient that they don't need that medication. You don't have to take it, especially when they start to get better. It's what if I started taking your medication? What would that do to my body? Your body is healing, you're getting better. Don't believe the lies that they're telling you.
Awesome. I love it. And I'm so glad you're here. And I'm really excited to this is full circle of what we're talking about, because you got started because you needed the support and the tools to really find the answers for your patients. So you went to the guru himself. He's what known as the Hormone Whisperer, right? So Dr. Pat Flynn, he's the Hormone Whisperer. And tell us about what he's doing for practice next Saturday.
Yeah, so he's coming down to Houston. I hate that everybody here isn't local and can't come, but he is having. I
think some people are close.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
what?
Well, I was just gonna say he's. I'm hosting him. He's coming down, and he's going to be giving the Hormone Connection seminar, and it's a great seminar, and he teaches you everything that you want to know about hormones. Why your hormones are so important, how they are affected negatively, how to fix them, how to test them. He even, breaks it down for men and women, and it's a great thing for spouses to come to, because he gives the girls a to-do list for their man and the guys a to-do list for their ladies, and how that itself can boost and help hormones to be healthy and inside your relationship. And so how you can start helping each other without even changing anything else that you're doing. So it's on Saturday, the 22nd in Houston. Maybe we can put the link in the comments or something.
Yes, definitely put the link. I know that Stephanie, she's asking about information. I do believe she lives closer to Houston. She does to Dallas. So we'll definitely put the link. And this is a growing community. So also, if you know someone in the Houston area who's maybe having health challenges, I highly recommend. What are the tickets? Like $10 to go. It's a $10, like a 2-hour event that could definitely help change the trajectory. If you're in the Houston area, or you want to go to the Houston area, and you can make that happen this coming Saturday on the 22nd, I highly, highly recommend you reach out to Dr. Beth and figure out how you can get the link, or we'll put the link in the comments. If you have any other questions for Dr. She's in our community, I'm sure would be happy to answer those. Is there maybe one tip that you can give everyone for just like taking everything we talked about tonight and just maybe giving people who are really lost in their health or wanting some direction? Is there maybe one thing that you would like to share tonight?
If you have any kind of like inkling and you don't feel the same that you used to, or whatever that may be, whether it's related to the way you feel or your energy level or your menstrual cycle or your skin or whatever, don't doubt it. You know your body better than anybody else. You live in it every day. Don't doubt it, and don't wait, because the longer you wait, the harder it is going to be to fix. And so, really listen to that inner voice inside of you. Go to your medical doctor and see what they have to say. And if they brush you off, then you know that, okay, no, there's something going on inside of me. I need to find somebody who can help me with this. There are wellness way practitioners all over the place. Go to somebody like Jenna that is really going to look deep and inside and try to figure out what's going on with you. Because if you have that this just does not feel right. Like, I do not feel good. I don't feel like all my other mom friends or all my other friends or girlfriends. Like, I need to get this checked out. Like, don't ignore that little voice inside of you, because it's important. It's really important.
Mm-hmm. And for those people watching who are really interested in wanting to work with you, you work with patients remotely, right?
Yeah, I have quite a few remote patients that I see. So most of what I can do over the phone. Obviously, I prefer to see you in person and take X-rays of you and examine you and all that stuff, but I can work with somebody else that's close by and recommend. I mean, chiropractic is definitely something that I do with all of my patients, because it's super important to address the nervous system, because that is going to help with inflammation and everything else you have going on. But I can do whatever I need to do over the phone, and then test kits can be mailed to you, supplements can be mailed to you. I have a lot of patients that I see remotely that I've never even met. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. And so let's get down to the giveaway, since we probably want to not keep everyone up too late. So you're going to give away a free consult. So that's normally what's the value of like your time and your cult and all of that?
If you were to come into my office, or when you come to one of my talks, I usually do like a $99 initial, and that would encompass everything that we would do on our first visit. So.
Mm-hmm. And if they can't see locally, they can still have that consult over the phone
Yes.
with you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So you're going to give that away. Mm-hmm. The winner, since we're recording this live, everyone has 24 hours to enter to win, for their chance to enter to win this gift. So your announcement will be drawn tomorrow. So you're going to help me pick a number for Camille's gift that she's raffling off from yesterday, which is a free bottle of frankincense. So anyone who knows anything about essential oils knows that frankincense is amazing, and it's almost $100 a bottle. So anyone who gets it would be really lucky. So Beth, I want you to pick a number. Let me make sure I've updated my list here. I want you to pick a number between 2 and 60 for the winner of the free frankincense.
How about 3?
3, ooh. Who is number 3? All right, Miss Bess. I don't know how to say this last name. Chrisvick. Bess Chrisvick. She was referred to our group by Miss Rosalind. So that's very exciting. Bess will be in touch with you about how to get that essential oil from Camille. Camille is just now actually joining us. So Camille will connect you with the winner of the frankincense. And then Beth, tomorrow when we announce the winner of your free consult, we'll connect you guys tomorrow. So it was so nice to chat with you. I'm fortunate enough I get to chat with you every single week about your business and how we help more people. So this was awesome. I know it was a lot of information, and I know we had to really be very vague, but if you need some support, definitely don't be afraid to reach out to Dr. Beth and see how she can help you. Is there anything else you want to add, Dr. Beth?
No, just thank you for having me. I'm very honored to be part of this group of women that you're interviewing. So.
And absolutely. And again, if you're in the Houston area, we're going to add the link below to go visit Dr. It's not at your office, but he's coming to a community center. Yeah, you and another doctor. A big audience, and he's going to be there answering a lot of questions. So definitely check out the Hormone Talk if you can. It's going to be next Saturday in the Houston area. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow with Jamie Marvin, and she's going to share her stories on how you can find simple gifts in every moment. Thank you, and have a great day.